talking about commercial value. Obviously, when we are talking, we are not talking about simple secrets here, something you tell to your friend and you say, don't tell to this guy. We are not telling because we want to remain unique. We want to maintain our USP. So that is the reason why we keep it a secret, because if it is known to everyone, they will exploit it, and things which are open in public domain completely somewhere tend to lose out their values altogether. So until the time things are uncertain, things are unpredictable, that is the time when you actually realize your full potential. So obviously every secret has to have a commercial value. Then again, there is another judgment by Bombay High Court in the famous Bombay dyeing case, and they have given certain factors which determine whether or not a certain piece of information is a trade secret or not. The savings, the Bombay dyeing case held that this value can be ascertained by factors such as, but not limited to, the savings affected and the value to the proprietor in having the information as against its competitor. Just try visualizing the vagueness of this entire statement altogether. Now, a person could say that I had a loss of 5 crores. A person could say because of one small leakage of 2 words or 1 word or one small secret, one small statement. Valuation, we are talking about valuation, that what is the worth of that trade secret. Now, if there is one line of code that is stolen or that gets leaked out and that results in Google losing out on 50 patents, what is the worth of that one single patent? So you can just try and visualize depending on that particular scenario. If the total business is of 1 lakh or 2 lakh INR, obviously the worth will be less. But when we are talking in a huge scale where transactions are happening in multi billions, then obviously the principles will still remain the same, but the valuations will differ. And that is where our business knowledge comes into the picture. So if you are looking at practicing in this field, if you are looking at being a lawyer, or then you have to be capable of thinking in a larger scale, because law will be the same for everyone, whether you are doing it for a single proprietor with a worth of total 50,000, or you are doing it for an organization with a worth of 50,000 crores. So what is really discriminating between the first case and the second example which I mentioned is not about knowledge of law. It is about your knowledge of business, knowledge of transactions, knowledge of how the world works, and your own imagination and visualization capacity. So try to extrapolate your legal knowledge and take it and connect it ahead with businesses altogether. If you are really looking forward to succeed in legal practice, if you do not happen to be from legal domain and you happen to be from business, HR, marketing, then again, some basic understanding of law will be important over there as well. So it's about the savings affected and the value to the proprietor in having the information as against his competitors. Next is amount of effort or money expended in obtaining and developing the information. Now, someone has just spent some time and some money and the information leaks, again, implication is something. If it has been very huge and if it leaks, again, the trade secret is same, definition is same, leakage is same, piece of information is same, still the implication is just, I mean, two ends of a pole. On one hand it could be 5,000, on the other hand it could be 5,000 cr. So that is the variation in terms of implication for the same intellectual property right, for the same law, for the same statute, for the same interpretation. So that is why understanding and what we say meticulous attention to these aspects, especially in transactions wherein the scale is very high, becomes extremely important, where each and every one line becomes important. Then amount of time, amount of expense that would be incurred by a third party if it were to acquire or duplicate this information. I'm sure law students will not have much difficulty in connecting all the three statements. It's a very typical generic attempt at defining something and trying to give something a structure which ideally does not have it. But all in all, what I am trying to point out over here is not the attempt to definition. That obviously all the high courts have that beauty of drafting with them. The honorable judges have that beauty of drafting with them, and you give them any vague term, they will give you a good, reasonable, sensible definition out of it. But what we are trying to highlight over here is not the definition side of it, but the implication side of it, that how really the commercial value can change for the same trade secret, one line of code, one secret recipe, one small database within the organization which for which the employee had access, how it can be taken care of in the employment agreement, in the non-disclosure agreement, in the non-compete agreement. So these are certain implications which will arise from the singing subject matter, that is trade secrets.